I like spaceships.
With MakingStarWars.net.
I told you. Oh, God.
Hi, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net.
It's the I told you.
It's the I told you moment.
I told you.
Yeah. And this is
It's not about
Rob.
spaceship.
This is my sketchy friend on the
And my
Seven
avatar
Plains world.
mug.
Can't see it. It's blue.
My bootleg J. Scott Campbell avatar mug.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually make these. I had to make it myself. But I went and bought a bunch of his shit from his site, so you don't get mad.
This is a witch's cauldron that has been shrunk down.
I made the handle blue, so it's like their tail. Look at that. I lined it up with the body. So isn't it great?
So are you technically putting your fingers up its ass when you take a drink?
That's how I roll, my friend. Yeah.
So today we got some Kenobi news. We got some Ragtag news, strangely, as luck would have it. And tomorrow we're going to do a show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to have Knights of the Old Republic information.
This is like Family Double Dare when it would come on at night and you felt special. You're like, game shows at night.
Yeah. So if you're awake, come hang out. Otherwise, otherwise I'll tell you what happened.
No, it's omelet night tomorrow. I'll be out.
All right.
Omelets
Cool.
they're low carby. They don't crash.
Right. Nice. All right. So yeah. You know what? Sometimes you're supposed to like share your screen before, like if you're prepared. But you know what? I last night Bespin Bulletin was messaging me and he was asking me some stuff about the game, about Ragtag, right? And like spellings of names and stuff, because I did this documentary video, if you will, and it's been out for a while, and I put it in my article. But anyways, as I'm going through, I'm like trying to find everything, and as I'm doing it, I'm like digging through stuff. I'm like, you know what? I wrote the whole script for that video. So I just posted it up and kind of just give it a little pass, jazzed up a little bit of the parts where I call it a documentary and just a little bit of clarification here and there. Made it a giant article on MakingStarWars.net with all of the info. And Bespin did a write-up of my video. Thank you, Bespin. And it's a very succinct version. For the record, with images, my script for that was 80 pages. So it's
Is it succinct or is it succinct?
Succinct, because it's hot when I do it.
All right. Well, I'm going there, but I was just curious.
Yeah, but anyways, so through that all together, so go check out my version. If you don't have a lot of time, check out Bespin's version, but check out both because that would be the best for everyone. And so I didn't get to cover the story on the site because I was dealing with image formatting and shit like that. All for like it took me like 6 hours to do that. I thought it was going to be 20 minutes.
Jace, if you just use Wix, like I told you, you can just click the buttons.
So Loki composer rumored to be scoring Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Recently, a new rumor has begun making its way around the Star Wars community pertaining to the composer of the highly anticipated Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Previously, it was confirmed. Ooh, that's questionable language. I think it was reported, but not confirmed, that John Williams would be composing the theme for Kenobi, as he did for Solo: A Star Wars Story, but won't be scoring the entire series. The series is now just a little over 1 month away from debuting on Disney Plus, and we've yet to get an official announcement on who is scoring the series, but the answer may have leaked. For the record, jwfan.com is and their users are pretty fucking on. So I would listen to them. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's probably right. So according to users on John Williams' fan site, jwfan.com, the composer of the series is Natalie Holt. Holt is probably best known for scoring the successful Disney Plus series Loki, and is set to compose the score for DCEU flick Batgirl, which releases later this year. Holt expressed interest last year on working on a Star Wars project on social media amidst the release of Loki. Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Loki soundtrack, and I'm not a big fan of most of the Marvel studio scores, but Holt's work on the Loki theme was brilliant in my opinion. So, yeah, and then he just kind of shares some of his opinions and stuff like that. You could hear the theme from Loki here and stuff. And
just DMCA the cast.
oh no. Oh no, but the thing I will say, so here's what's up. Like I've already getting people going, I thought this and I thought that. It's like you didn't read the fucking article. So you thought John Williams
or listen to us talk about it for an hour.
Or paid attention when we listened. We might have got sidetracked with fart jokes for 20 minutes, but that's your problem. But basically, yeah, John Williams was always said to be writing stuff on it. In my opinion, this is my opinion, he's probably going to do a new suite for Leia, and they're not going to announce that. Why? Because they're keeping Leia a secret, even though it's not a secret. It's like they never thought of plan B. What do we do if Leia leaks and everybody knows? How do we uncomplicate this? But at the same time,
Liam Neeson knows what to do.
The people who read the leaks, it's a couple 100,000 people, whereas this will be consumed by millions. So I guess that's the different. But what I will say is, if you've ever seen A Clockwork Orange, Wendy Carlos does a beautiful synth score to that. That's a combination of like her synth music and then like classical music, like composed classically. It's like a sort of man versus machine sort of idea here in terms of the but where I'm going with this is that it homegirl from Loki, what she did was she copied the Clockwork Orange vibe 100% and nailed it. It's fucking on. It sounds like it could be, yeah, she used like all like the correct patches and synths that and probably emulators today, but to do all of that stuff, and it fucking goes. So where I'm going with this is if that is any indication of her work as a student and emulating something, she may be able to work with John Williams and compose something like 1-to-1 with him. It's a possibility. I also, though, don't necessarily think that it being able to like rock out with some synths and get into some really freaky shit with it necessarily means you could copy John Williams. That's nothing to do with one being better than the other. I don't believe that whatsoever. But what I do believe is that they are two different things, but it does show her propensity to be a good student. And so that's what I don't think this is a bad thing. And for the record, John Williams was sort of like he had a lot of help on the sequel trilogy films as well. I just think that we're to a point now where he's like not pretending like he's doing it all because he's up there. It's exhausting. And
Ben Burtt had to take over in a few scenes and just sort of loop things. He's good with loops and sound effects.
He's all, I have a synth. Fuck you, John Williams. Ben Burtt's time. It's Ben Burtt's time. Ben Burtt's time.
It's my time to make one of the synths.
Look at this string. It sounds like a laser.
Right?
Yeah.
I could do the sounds.
Ben Burtt's either like the coolest guy to hang out with, and just like you feel like you're hanging out with like a Velvet Underground nerd or something, or it's like, or he's just like out of control. I can't tell which.
Yeah. But I really should act my age.
Yeah, who cares? But basically, I think it's gonna work. I'm actually like I'm pretty surprised about this.
This is what I've been waiting for, is to find out who's going to take over for the main score. We've always known the score wasn't gonna be done by Williams, and I love the composer for Mando and stuff. Like I dig him, but like I was like, I just want it to have its own feel.
Yeah.
And this is a fantastic addition.
Well, the thing is that, like, when you get down to it, I mean, my opinion, John Williams loves Leia's theme that he did. It's like the thing that he plays at every show. Honestly think he's probably, I'm putting words into his mouth, but I think he's probably more proud of that than any of the other things that he did. I think they even included it in the Revenge of the Sith soundtrack at the end, in the end credits, I want to say. And
well, the first time I got to listen to it complete was like when it first went to CD, like that. Remember that box set, the big Star Wars like rectangular box,
right.
And he had that whole suite in there, and it's almost it's got some melancholy to it.
Yeah.
Like I think people don't generally remember it too much. They kind of remember the swooping love theme from the Empire or whatever.
Yeah.
But her particular theme, I do hope that gets its time to shine.
Yeah. Well, it's like look at what Williams did for Anakin Skywalker's theme. He took basically the Imperial March, kind of made it major, made it more playful, and then had it just sort of do that little leitmotif in major, and it's fun, it works. And so I imagine he's going to do something like that for Leia. Obviously, Leia's theme isn't like a complete transformation, but I would not be surprised if that's essentially what he's doing. Luke and Leia's themes and the Force theme are probably going to get a little bit of a tweaking in this, and then I imagine after that we'll have this new composer playing with that stuff a little bit more. So Meg says John's favorite compositions are Yoda's theme and Rey meets BB-8. Yeah, he would say that now. No, but Yoda's theme is probably, that one is up there. That one's pretty fucking good. That melody.
I gotta wonder though if Leia's theme isn't one of the first things he made on that. It's just one of those things that it gets forgotten about, know. But he wrote whole suites on that in that first film, for like all the main stuff, and that's the one that's pulled from the least. But yeah.
Will Driver says, "Is Reva going to be the main character in Kenobi?" We're not. No. I mean, yeah, we're not laughing at you, Will. It's a grift, Will. It's not real. It's not true. It's people taking. It's people literally. I don't know. Is race baiting the right way to put? Is that the right term? Use of the term? I don't know. But they are.
Race baiting was the. It's all another thing. But
yeah. But they're basically trying to get the racists really upset. They're trying to make everybody into a big thing, so that way everybody goes and watches. They're trying to manufacture a controversy, so that way they have something to talk about. It is complete bullshit. It's complete fucking bullshit. It's a complete lack of integrity and class, in my opinion. And trust me, I have no class, so I know when somebody has none.
You seen the show?
Yeah, have you seen the show? But
you should have seen the leaks we had yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Star Wars Santa says, like the video, you charlatans.
I meant to type leaked.
Yeah.
Too much eggnog.
But subscribe to the video, to the channel, like it, and become a channel member. And that's nice. That's how I'm able to keep doing this stuff. Otherwise, I got to go work other jobs, and I don't have time to share everything with you guys. I get to keep it all to my sweet little self. So, but good afternoon, Justin. Channel member Justin. I appreciate you being a channel member, Justin. Just want you to know that, man. Channel member Justin. Azatru says Avatar is fantastic. Bayformers are fantastic. Smash that like button. Hey, because you totally smashed the like button. I'll just say yeah. Okay. I think Rob agrees with half of that.
I have a really good fan edit of the first film. It's just a strong edit that gets it down to 90 minutes, and that's a great film. In that edit,
how much airbending?
There's some fun visuals, huh?
How much airbending did you leave in it?
Talk about Transformers, not Avatar.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
Avatar is fine as it is. You're nuts. So
yeah,
needed more merch.
Eric Denton, you fucking liar! You either are a fucking liar or you're confused. Because
when are we getting a Lego Elden Ring? Like, just so these guys can make it so hard for a Lego game. Come on.
Is an Elden Ring one of those things that like goes under your ball sack and over your junk and makes it where you can't not? Is that one of those things? Was that an Elden Ring?
All I know is Twitter had something about tanning your balls trending the other day, and I'm like, I'm not even looking.
Yeah,
like,
Tucker Carlson. He thinks if you want to be a real man, you gotta tan your balls.
That's why he wears a bow tie.
You know, it's not gay if you stuck somebody's balls in their tan. So it's cool. You know, Tucker.
What was that SNL skit? I'm totally not gay, man. But I'm totally those two guys that were working out. No, it was a Jerky Boys thing, wasn't it? Or was
Jerky
it?
Boys?
It was audio. They used to play it on Stern. It was audio, and it was like two guys that were working out, and then they basically have gay, with the gays, but they're not gay. Like, yeah. That's most of Fox News.
But I gotta say, we played through all 9 episodes in about 2 days. Ooh. And then for the last 7 days, we've been playing the actual open world actual game. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like,
the actual game.
Yeah.
Right.
For what it's worth, anybody who's starting it or whatever, buy whatever characters you love, but don't waste any of the money on anything that you don't love, that you don't want to play. Don't just unlock characters because you're like, want to spend your thing. Buy the multiplier, and when you get down to the 10 times multiplier, it multiplies on top of itself. And so you end up with like a 3,000% like multiplier. So like I have like billions of whatever you call the blocks you pick up in the game. And so I basically bought like the Death Star 1 and 2 and all the Capital Star Destroyers. I got all that shit, and like it would have taken me like a day to buy those things individually. It took me minutes to buy it all by just doing that in the end. So yeah, that's what's important. How's it going, Violet? I never saw Loki. Is this composer good? I think so. But like kind of like what Bespin was saying, I don't generally like the Marvel soundtracks. Like, which is I think one reason.
Haters.
Well, I think it's one reason that like I don't tend to like actually like want to rewatch them too often. I tend to rewatch films where I like the music a lot. That's kind of like where the whole soundtrack and score working together becomes like listening to a record. And so it's a lot of but I do think overall there was potential there. And so we have to see what happens when they try and do Star Wars. But I also I like the Mandalorian's music. Like whenever I hear that little wah wah kind of noise for him, I'm like, hey, it's a Mando. Like you know who it is when you hear it, so it works.
But I don't excellent job of breaking out of the John Williams stuff, dude. Which Star Wars has to do to continue to grow. It has to.
Well, it's like Star Wars only needs to do the John Williams thing for the most part if it's playing into the serial motifs. When it steps far away from serial motifs, now it's just the music won't match the picture or the ideas or the pacing. Not necessarily. I mean, that's really
in Marvel's
where it works.
Defense, though. Like early on, they signed up. Like that first score for Iron Man, that composer is amazing. But Ike Perlmutter, the head of Marvel, entirely owns it. Super right winger, didn't want to pay for royalties, so like they kept having to like change composers and themes on every film. Yeah. That goes away after really goes away around Guardians 2 when Feige took over. But now you get like Mark Mothersbaugh's fucking Thor Ragnarok score. If you can't just put that on, then I don't know.
That's actually
you have no soul. Like
that's my dream composer for one of these things is Mark Mothersbaugh. There's actually like nobody I want more than Mark Mothersbaugh to do something in Star Wars.
He does all the music for What We Do in the Shadows, this TV series as well. So like if Taika does that Star Wars film, I gotta assume that's gonna be a Mark Mothersbaugh score.
Well, like Star Wars always shied away from the synth thing, mostly in a really heavy way, because it was sort of cliche at the time. It was expected if you were going to do like a silent runnings or something like that you're probably going to put like, and then 2001 was the movie that showed, well, you don't have to do that, and kind of made it. I think that's really why George Lucas decided to go with the John Williams angle, was probably 2001 in the end, which I think is strangely connected to also connected through Kubrick and the soundtracks. A Clockwork Orange in 2001, they kind of have the same classical motifs going on, and it's like classical with the future. And that's just what George took. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And I'll do the Republic cereal thing. There we go. I love the Rogue One soundtrack for as quick as it was put together. I think it's fantastic and for the amount of time it had.
That's great.
That little motif that it does, though, that's like, hey, remember the cereals when it shows the logo? Not a fan of it because it doesn't really fit the rest of the movie, and it really never uses it like in a real serious way. That's like my only critique of that soundtrack. But anyways, yeah, Mark Mothersbaugh would be the best to do a hybrid, like a combination of synth and classical music together. Like it would be so rad to see John Williams and Devo fucking orally on a Star Wars show. That's what I want.
We're gonna get a new Mothersbaugh score with Love and Thunder, I believe. So
yeah,
yeah. I mean, what I want to know, and what hasn't been even confirmed or talked about, who is scoring Avatar 2? Because James Horner died, and I still have heard no word, left or right, over who's scoring this film. Like,
didn't he? What is James Horner the one who had like a little factory set up of composing slaves who like?
That's Hans Zimmer.
Oh, Hans Zimmer. Okay,
yeah,
okay. I was gonna
who
say
should be the guy to take over that film, but
what Avatar 2?
Yeah. He really should. He's super good, and he'd be about the pick. He'd be the pick I'd pick, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
that hasn't been announced yet. No, James Horner gave us so many, like
fucking Willow,
Aliens,
bro.
Alien 2. I mean, the classic it was used forever and ever and ever. Star Trek, Wrath of Khan.
Young boomers all Loki's composer isn't John Williams. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like people are like really mad about it because they only read the headline.
No.
What?
I'm wrong. Simon Fanglin is scoring the Avatar sequels. I missed this story somehow.
I don't know who that
somehow
is.
I missed.
Do I know who that is? What did he?
He composed the music for the Pandora Disneyland fucking stuff, but that's it. Okay. Bummer.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am let down. Damn, I should have typed that in. Oh, you know why that came out last August? I know why. This news hit when my buddy died, and I wasn't like looking at the internet.
You're like,
so
I'm good. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I was all depressed for a good 3 or 4 months.
So I agree with Violet. I think Violet knows her shit. Violet says, I think John Williams would compose only the main theme. Yeah, I would not be surprised if we saw. Originally the Force theme was Obi-Wan Kenobi's theme, and then it became bigger than that. And so, a couple of the ways I could see him doing this is the first way would be to take Obi-Wan's theme, the Force theme, Leia's theme, and kind of work them together because so much of the show is Leia and Kenobi together. So maybe one idea could be that that he takes those themes, turns it into a new composition, and it covers both characters and some kind of like natural evolution into A New Hope of that music, which would be good.
Fans are gonna dig on it, but Franklin did synth programming on Ferngully.
Nice.
Yes, James. So that's what I'm saying. You lean into it.
You're ready.
Right into it.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That is so good. He also worked with Horner on Titanic. He's done a lot of arranging and programming on a grip of films going back to 1990 from Downtown, fucking Bodyguard. But I do like he worked on Ferngully. Like this makes me so happy.
So when the main trailer for Kenobi drops is what Dazalis is asking. So here's the thing. I'm going to preface it with we don't know, but I'm also going to add to it that our sources at the time believed that Last Thing was the only trailer, and that it would be followed by drops through other media forms. You know what I mean? Exclusive clips, maybe to IGN, for instance. I'm making that up, but you see what I'm saying? And so I hope there's another trailer, but I don't think there will be. And I think it may be predicated all around the idea of keeping Leia a secret, because you can only go up until the part where Bail Organa shows up and says, my daughter's been kidnapped. You have episode 1 to make a trailer out of. And after you get to episode 2 stuff, they did a little bit of the exposition stuff from episode 2 in that trailer. After that, it becomes you would know what the series is about. So
we're gonna hide little bits of the trailer in Fortnite. It's gonna be an update. You have to.
I'm just saying, like little tiny pieces of layer turds that's all over the place. You won't even know what's her. Just little tiny.
You have to get a multiplier to multiply to get the rest of the trailer. Little frames and snippets.
It's like rabbit pellets. It's like little rabbit pellets.
You mean Trix cereal? I used to tell that because I had a pet rabbit as a kid. I'm like looking at my Trix. I'm like, it's just rabbit shit. And then they eventually changed those to shapes of fruits. But remember, it was originally just and I'm looking at the box and I'm looking at the bowl.
We had a box of Pokemon cereal. I think I talked about we picked up a box of Pokemon cereal recently, and my daughter asked what they're supposed to be, and I said that they were Pikachu pellets. So like little colored tricks.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I hope we're wrong, or that there's something more coming, or I can just do the YouTube thing and like be like, yeah, it's happening, and then start going, where is it? Where is it? It's happening. Where is it? And get you all on my side and pay me. That's what happens. John's favorite compositions are Yoda's theme and Ray meets BB-8. Also, his favorite pizza is pepperoni. People don't know that. Will Driver says, is Reva going to be the main character in Kenobi? We answered that. Yeah, just to reiterate once again, no, it's not. They're liars. They are liars, and they are playing upon your fan anxieties.
I'm waiting for that. They're doing emergency reshoots to make her the main character, Jason.
This just in. Hold on, I'm hearing in my ear. Yeah, it turns out they have heard our show. They have heard the will of the fans, and they are editing Reva out. They're putting Ewan back in, and Kathleen Kennedy, she's getting fucking fired. Oh, and John Williams is scoring the whole thing again. The end.
Again.
Well, what happened was Kathleen Kennedy thought, this is a sausage fest, bro. We need to get, like, some chicks on this one, you know? And they fired John Williams, motherfucker. Now here we are. Fuck, Force is female. Johannes asks, Lucasfilm needs to hurry up with Obi-Wan marketing. I disagree, Johannes. We want it. We could use it. It's fun for us. They don't really seem to, they know that they got the day-to-dayers. Like us, me and Johannes, we're there every day. They can feed us or not feed us. They're going to get our money when the time comes. So they don't care about us. There's
Jason, there's $100 million marketing campaign for a Marvel movie going on right now for the next 2 weeks. I'm certain they don't want to compete with eyeballs.
Yeah.
They got May the 4th is coming, their celebration shit, all that shit's like, it's all that ramp up.
But it's not a movie. What I'm going with this is it's not a movie. They don't need to pre-sell tickets. They need to get subscribers to their network, to their app.
Yeah.
And so basically the Kenobi marketing that's going to bring in people for Kenobi, that needs to start pretty close to showtime, so people go, oh, you know what? I'll just subscribe now, so I'm ready when it comes out. I'll subscribe now so I can catch up if I missed anything. That's what they.
If I was running it, I wouldn't drop that fucking trailer until the day it was ready to go. Like you drop the trailer, now playing on Disney Plus, bam! Like like that's how I would roll. Like. Because the internet works on that viral, oh my God, just look at this thing, and everyone runs over there and sees it. It doesn't really do this fishtail upward,
Yeah. So that's where they're at. Darth Aria says, wouldn't it be great if Lucasfilm got ahead of this Reva rumor with some marketing or something? Well, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like the Reva rumor wouldn't exist if I hadn't put the story beats out there. But
we're gonna have to think about how you break out information in the future.
Oh no, I'm completely cognizant of it. It just I have realized now that the people who want to find those angles are going to find those angles.
That's true.
And when all is said and done, they're not even right. They're not right in terms of screen time. And they're not right about how this washes out. They're wrong. And so yeah. It's very confusing about why anybody would believe these people who keep doing this, but it's also confusing as to what they're going to pick when they want to bullshit you. But they will find something. There's like nothing I can do about it. But I will say my angle, and I don't know if I should say professional, but I've always felt that when you're dealing with spoilers, you owe the creatives in the situation. This is where I think you owe them the professional courtesy, and that's to be on their side. As if you're
Right.
reporting on their stuff early, it's not done, it's not out. If something was super stupid, if Obi-Wan Kenobi was fucking pissing his pants like Liam Neeson at a fucking Irish pub, I'd say, yeah, maybe that's something worth complaining about. But if you're going to report on spoilers, you're going to follow leaks, you should try to be on its side, follow what the intent is. And on that way, I think that's only fair. Now, I will say,
because
but
people
I
have
also
to do a lot of imagination with when you post a leak or a spoiler, like, so it's not you're on their side because you're trying to like, well, someone hooked me up with info, I got to be for them. It's because your imagination can lead you down other paths that was never the intent, and you got to really clarify what that intent is,
Yeah, there's definitely a faction of the fandom that can hear leaks, that can assimilate the information, use their imagination appropriately, even think back to the past. Oh, I read spoilers for this, and then I saw this, and it looked like that. So here's how things translate. That step is missing for a lot of people. But at the same time, if you have a bunch of people that are imagining that these things are going on, I don't know. Maybe they're imagining a race war. Then you're able to really get those people really upset, mobilized, and they'll give you money. So yeah, it's a huge bummer. But thank you, Mr. Maximus, for having sex with our like button. If you got that like button pregnant and you make me a like button grandpa, I will take you to court and you will raise that like button as your own. Just to let you know. I will shotgun wedding you and that like button if I have to.
Only a father could have come up with that joke.
Marvel has more than one song. Yeah, right. I know it's all like some like American flag in the distance going dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
You're thinking of the Alan Silvestri score, and you as a Back to the Future fan should be fucking grateful they keep him busy.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, that's actually Yoda.
You nitwit.
Kind of similar. Kind of similar.
Yoda's
though.
theme. Like,
Wait.
na 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 na. I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
There it is.
Hear all.
Stupid. But anyways, yeah, but Marvel does have 1.5 songs. Junkbox says, my only hope is that the music for the Vader versus Kenobi fight kicks like Battle of Heroes did. Yeah. That's another place to take this. At the same time, maybe Battle of the Heroes and Duel of the Fates are just going to be fucking rocking out in our ears the whole time. That's one thing I think that like I like that where your head's at there, Junkbox, because I think that that could be what happens. And if we just have Obi-Wan fighting Darth Vader and the action's fucking good and that music is playing, that's going to carry it quite a ways, especially because in Revenge of the Sith, there are a few times when there are moments that do look dated, where we have gotten faster. So like when they're just doing this, when they're just being light masters with the swords.
Bro. This and the two hands. Magnets.
Oh, we literally have already seen them filming that.
I know. I'm not a fan of it. I know. I'm not a fan of it. And then especially with that slow truck in on the faces when they're doing it, and then cut.
Oh, I like that. That's like kind of ridiculous. Yeah.
But when they stand there doing this, I'm just like, I can't.
But when that stuff very first hit, we weren't as fast as we are today. in terms of thinking in an image. So if they were to do that today, it would probably be a few frames shorter for sure than what it ended up being, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, but Battle of the Heroes is so goo. One of the best Sonic Youth records. So I think you're onto something. Sorry,
is it goo for you?
It's goo for me. Darth Del Rio says, the more they show, the more people like me get excited and buy more of their shit. That's true. It is true. Tyrant says Zimmer gets a lot of shit for being the generic bombastic style, but his work on Dune, Tenet, Interstellar, Blade 2049, and yes, Inception, with the suspenseful horn train sound effect. Yeah,
from Lion King, dude, Crimson Tide. I mean, the even his collaborative work on Batman Begins, the Dark Knight Rises soundtrack is amazing because it's the first real, like, that's a full synth version of. There's no orchestral mix in the Dark Knight Rises. It's a full synth, like which we hadn't been getting. I don't know, man. That dude always pulls out some fucking amazing shit that people think is generic. I suggest to go rewatch Sonic 2 and get back to me on generic bombastic scores. So
yeah. If it works, it works.
But he ain't doing it. We're getting Franklin. So
yeah.
Make says the Ferngully guy.
Make says the Ferngully guy. Jason.
That's Alan Silvestri, but really. But
who hasn't been good since Back to the Future. Star Wars Make says
hater.
Jason, how do you react to folks who don't believe the leaks because it doesn't match what they want? Ah! Like that, pretty much.
He does kung fu in his front yard and kicks the shit out of a pillow for an hour.
I used to have I've had the worst of it. I used to have I do feel bad for the guy, but I had like an autistic young man, and his family was not taking care of him, so it makes me feel bad for him. But he did not like what I was reporting, and every day he would threaten to kill me. Every day he would tell me he was going to kill me, and he'd make videos about me, and they were crazy. I don't want to say his name because I do feel, because he like I said, he's a product of neglect. But at the same time, if he wasn't in that situation, he would have just been another one of the chuds that I have to deal with, generally speaking, around the stuff.
Look,
and
no joke. No joke that when you describe this stuff, I'm really just taken back to, was that Robert? It was a Robert, because of course Robert Bohr, the guy who murdered Rebecca Schaeffer.
Yeah,
the actress Rebecca Schaeffer from the 80s. She was in a series called My Sister Sam, but she played in this movie that's actually it's an interesting B movie thing. It's called something in Beverly Hills, like The Class.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills. Remember that one?
No, it wasn't like that. But Ed Begley Jr. was in this movie, and so. Ed Begley Jr. He sees her in this movie, and then he can't help that she's like, because she's like in some sexual like outfit. He's like, you weren't. In his head, he was like, she wasn't pure anymore, so he had to murder her or something. And I'm like, that's just what we got now, man. We got a bunch of these motherfuckers, like who legitimately, this dude needed psychological help. He was in an institution, and they let him back out. And that's what it comes out to, is we have a society that doesn't take. And not just us Americans, globally, we just don't take mental health like as a serious fucking problem.
Yeah, I mean that's why, like, right. I don't really know where I stand on some of this shit, but it's like I feel when I watch like a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, I feel really bad for him. Like, you don't become Jeffrey Dahmer just because you made a couple bad choices. Not necessarily.
No.
Well, he's not to say he's not responsible, but it's. Yeah,
I don't know, man. You go to Disney World,
Yeah,
what would Jesse say?
I would probably eat somebody World, instead of buying that turkey
indoctrinated. Leg. They become Jeffrey Dahmer.
But
you're right, Jesse. You got me.
No, but it definitely is like a big problem. And there's times in the past when I had to be like, don't shoot the messenger, and that's fucking ridiculous, and it's stupid. But
they want the leaks and the scoops, and then they get mad at you for That's why those sites that just make shit up and give them what they want are making all the money. Because that's.
I had a really adorable tweet yesterday, and it was this guy, and he's like, "Hey Jason, like, what do you think about the fact that like we had all of these leaks on episode 7, 8, and 9, and all that, but nothing for Kenobi. And I was like, I don't know what to say. I was like, dude, I leaked it all, man. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you should go check it out. He's like, okay. And I was like, yeah, it was nice though, but anyways, yeah, it's but that is the reason you don't read. I don't think you read the leaks to supplant the actual thing. You read the leaks to put your expectations in check,
or to just get hyped up. Some people
get
hyped excited,
up, but also to get hyped up accordingly. Right? Like there were people who were hyped up to see what Dengar looked like in Book of Boba Fett. You know what I'm saying? Or Bosk or whoever it happened to be. And like
the hey now of bounty hunters, Dengar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey now.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, and so like that's where I think leaks are like for instance, whenever I read a novel for a movie, I'm like, oh, I'm a little curious as to what they're gonna do. But you read the novel, then you see the movie, and you're like, oh, okay, that was the interpretation. Like, it's like a thing. But for some reason, we live in a weird world where a whole culture is lying to themselves that spoilers matter. Like in this way, the old trailers for classic movies spoiled the whole fucking movie. And they're still classic movies. But what they believe is that if they overwhelm reviewers on the first day, the reviewers will only focus on the features, the highlights. And then the word of mouth is good. And then they think that's success, which is why episode 9 is now the most revered and loved Star Wars film of all time. It's not.
That's why.
It's because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But we also live in a corporate culture where people don't stay at jobs for more than a couple of years, 2-3 years. Then they move on to a different corporation. So they only have to keep up that facade for the 2 or 3 years that they're at Disney or in that entertainment company. And then they'll move on to someplace else. So that's all that really truly matters to those people. It's bad for everything, I think, in the big picture, though.
I don't try to bring it up every episode, but I do bring up, having worked on marketing campaigns for 10 years, the pre-MCU through Civil War, and that non-Star Wars time too, and watching and dealing with Lucasfilm and Lucasfilm's licensing
on these Last Jedi t-shirted titties. Want to get them all wet, boys?
I didn't do any of those movies. I didn't do Force Awakens. I have none of that. But I remember how secret.
I just want the logo. That's all I want.
I remember when they announced episode 7, I tried to put, like that shirt. They were like, we're not doing anything. Don't do anything. We're going to wait. Like, all right. When they eventually got the Force Awakens stuff a year in advance, they made 2 of my buddies, they had to sit in a locked room to make the t-shirts, and you laugh. It's like when they come out, it's just the logo. It's not anything super big. It's then you got the Kylo Ren, but it was weird, dude, because those guys got in trouble. One of them got in trouble because he did fan art years before of Revan, and they were like, "Why did you leak our shit?" And it's like, that's Revan.
Stupid.
Yeah, he had to explain what Revan is to the because the people in Lucasfilm licensing at the time. They weren't there for Knights of the Old Republic, They were in high school. So,
but to go back to what Meg is saying, I honestly think that a lot of that is actually a symptom of a bigger actual societal problem that we have, especially in the United States, with Fox News viewers and stuff like that. They're used to thinking that they can choose the news that they want to hear, and then if they report that news, that then informs reality and creates it. Not true.
Manifesting shit.
Not true.
Man.
It is like
it's
that.
Manifesting shit.
It's chaos magic, but it's not really gonna work. It's not real. And but that's what they think. And I could tell you but as we know, by the time we report something, it's already happened. You can't report usually what has yet to happen. And it's usually things that have happened that are reported. So therefore, they are in a losing war. But I also take the perspective of if you don't like trans, gay people, people of color, or anything like that, and you think you're fighting a culture war, you've already lost. That already happened. It's what you're just throwing an extended fit. That's my take on it. But yeah, but people just need to learn how to face reality even when it sucks. And also be on the side of it and go, you know what? Maybe my imagination is not as good as Bad Robots, for instance, because chances are it's not, or Lucasfilm or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like you could get like a bunch of leaks or something, and you could tear it apart, or you could prop it up. But the reality of the situation probably gonna be a little bit different. That's my take anyway.
Although
Anthony,
honestly, man, I would have taken 9 out of 10, even the Raylo's fan fix for episode 9.
Yeah,
compared to what we got. Just be honest. Just being honest.
Everybody is entitled to how they feel about it. Yeah, I'm working on that big episode 9 breakdown. It's coming. Star Wars Anthony's. Oh yeah, but tomorrow, once again, be here at 6 o'clock tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna have some KOTOR stuff for the gamers, and we're gonna look at some of the game stuff here in a minute, just in a short way. Star Wars Anthony says, "Hey everyone, jumping on late here, but as far as the Kenobi scoring, the Loki composer, will they be redoing John Williams style tunes like Michael Giacchino did? Excuse me, for Rogue One." Well, everything is speculation right now, but I'm gonna think so. But I will say, here's the one thing that everybody should know. Is they the main Star Wars theme, dun 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 dun, dun, that's been changed, and it now goes dun dun. This is Reva show. It's the Reva show. Kenobi's a hoe, and so what do you want? You know,
and you got to follow the bouncing
ball.
Droid.
Yeah.
The little Jedi training ball.
The bouncing ball is reality fleeting away like a ping pong ball hit by Forrest Gump into the ether. Here we go. What's next? Darth Maximus.
By the way, Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks runs the exact same way in the opening to Booze and Buddies as he does his Forrest Gump. Just he has this loose hand run that just it's there. You can see it. Just point that out.
I was running. Star Wars Nick says, "I know nothing about Marvel and I enjoy life better this way." Hey, you do you, Meg. Whatever you got time for.
You were. She missed out on Loki. Then, seriously.
I will say,
sorry.
I actually like the last 2 years of Marvel TV. I don't like any of the old Netflix Marvel TV. I found that all to be a chore for me personally. But the modern Marvel films, Marvel TV series that they're doing, where they're using genre and mashing up genre super, I think it's pretty fun. Star Wars Anthony says, Reva is going to be dope. I wonder how many people will feel stupid after the show airs and they end up liking the character. Well, here's what they're going to do to me, Anthony. This is just the fucking truth. They're going to say, Making Star Wars reported Reva was the main character and the only character, and it was a bait and switch. That guy's a fucking liar. That's what will literally happen. I promise. And it's fucking stupid. And that's what happens when people are disingenuous. A lot of disingenuous motherfuckers in this game. Gotta say that much, because that's the truth. Star Wars Anthony says, was the report a while ago that John Williams was Kenobi debunked, or was that report referring to the trailer because he used to the face in the trailer? No. So it appears John Williams has written a theme or themes and is adding is adding his composition to it, just like how Solo: A Star Wars Story. John Williams wrote the Han theme, but didn't do the rest of it or do any of the composing himself, or you know what I mean? He just wrote the music and handed it over to somebody else. It's probably.
And I couldn't remember that Han Solo theme if you put it in front of me right now. Like if you had clips, I would not be.
Yeah, it's not.
Could
good.
Not even for the life of me. Love John Williams, but this is where I'm like, I don't know, man. You know.
It needed to be it needed to be a new version of that. It needed to be that fucking like taken up to 11. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And by the way,
I agree with you.
Watch the Whitest Kids You Know John Williams sketch if you guys have never seen it. It's so fucking good. Yeah. So
I was the whitest kid you knew.
Junkbox says, any chance of a Patreon incentive with Rob Clone Wars commentary episodes? Hey, I'm down when he is.
You want to see a fun episode, Junkbox? A fun episode that's on our channel right now? Go find the holiday special episode where I think, and for the life of me, I don't know why, Jason says we had to watch the holiday special. I thought he was joking, and then he forces me to sit and watch it, and I start banging my. It's this. There's no acting. All of that is real. That's me discovering, having to sit through this. Something I intentionally tried never to do in one sitting. Could not make it.
I actually need to do a big batch of Patreon uploads for the show. I got busy. Hey, Baymax, how's it going, dude? Tyrant says, weird. Rob is a big Ferngully fan. He's also a fan of Dances with Wolves, Princess Mononoke, and Pocahontas as well. Understanding the Avatar love now. It's like a plot love turducken.
Tyrant, what you don't understand is I'm the biggest Book of Boba Fett fan.
Oh. Tyrant says, damn it, Jason. You gave them their next talking points. MSW Jason Ward is a Jeffrey Dahmer sympathizer, right? Well, you know, like my I am all for dinner. I'm not yeah. No, I just go like imagine getting to that point where you want to where you have to eat somebody. Like, that's so
ask Alex Jones.
That's fucking crazy.
I will eat your ass.
I will eat your ass.
Have you seen the song they turned out of that? I will eat your ass song. It's the
there's a lot of good Alex Jones
corn on the cob. Like, it's the best.
Did you ever see when they made like the Alex Jones into like a millennial style folk song with one of those like campfire sounding songs?
Yeah,
it was so good.
But this one's better.
It's better. Okay.
My wife was so annoyed with it, but now I put it on when I clean the kitchen, and she starts getting jumping. You know, it's so ridiculous.
Meg says if you really want them to lose it, you should write an article about Gina Carano being replaced with Kathleen Kennedy in season 3. So Meg, I could jump from that, and I would say Gina Carano was supposed to play Reva. Then they fired her. How's that? And then that would. And see, it turns out Cara Dune was an Inquisitor, but then she just became I don't know, somebody named Dune from Alderaan, which still is the dumbest thing I've ever seen for a character design. Your last name is Dune, and you're from Alderaan. This doesn't sound good.
Yeah, it should have been called Plain or Fields. Wheatgrass, right?
Yeah.
Wheatgrass. Yeah.
Or
Kale.
Carlson after Tucker Carlson. Junkbox says, I am now making an admission to keep talking about Rob watching Clone Wars until it becomes reality. He's the opposite. You have to like not care, then he'll be like, I'll check it out. Now that see Rob, if you tell Rob, oh, you got to see Game of Thrones, Rob, it's the best show ever, he'll be like, you know what? I'm never gonna watch that.
I'm a guy who woke up going, I haven't watched Too Close for Comfort in a while, you know? So like, I found how to watch all 6 seasons of Too Close for Comfort. As I'm watching it, by the way, the power goes out. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to watch this. The internet was like, you're off, Rob. You can't be going back to this.
You're done.
Ted Knight's so good.
By the way, there's an article I just remembered. His name is Ted Knight. That's the actor's name from Too Close for Comfort.
Yes. Yeah.
There's an article I read around the year 2000 that stated a golf course was haunted by him, and that people would see him golfing out there
because he was in a movie.
He probably
Caddyshack.
He probably golfed a lot in real life there. And
he was literally in the movie Psycho. Why would he not haunt the Universal Studios lot? Like he was in the he has a brief cameo at the very end of Psycho.
Would you want to haunt a mansion that's not really real size? Or would you want to haunt the golf course where you just golf all day if you're like, I'd rather haunt the golf course personally.
You got me there. I'd haunt a miniature golf course.
That'd be a good time.
I saw Overboard many times. I can't get it out of my head. Mini golf.
Richie Kosel says, got to be honest, this is the first I've heard of people saying Reva is the main character. Must be from a part of the internet I don't listen to, follow at all. Then you are doing it right.
You're doing it right. I envy you.
Yeah, I have been asked this about seriously, literally 35 times in the last 2 days now because of these people that are pushing it. Yeah, you guys have some really insane outlets. Fox is a highest villainy. Yeah, it is. It's fucking Republican fan fiction. Richie Kosel says, is it Kosel or Kosel? But I'll go with Kosel.
It's Kessel.
Kessel. Richie Kessel Run. Hey, I'm Richie Kessel Run. I got a question for you. Although it's safe to say Reva is going to have a huge part, her picture is third or that in the original cast photo behind you and Hayden, indicating her importance of a role. Yeah, no, she's definitely.
And they don't want to show you Leia. You know?
Yeah. No, she's important because it's like she can't, it's like the one of the things about the story is the fate of Luke, Leia, Owen, Beru, Vader, Obi-Wan, fucking probably more. It's probably somebody, Bell, Forlom, and that spice I told you about. Anyways, so when you have all these people, you have to have new people in the mix, or none of it makes any. It's all just like, yeah, okay, more of the same. There's like no stakes. And by introducing these new characters and these new wild cards, you do have it. She's important. She's the main like villain, I would say, outside of Darth Vader. And but she's definitely it's not her series. It's not going to do a Book of Boba Fett. And like X-Wing yesterday was saying on Santa's show, he's like, I can see how some people think this after what Book of Boba Fett did. But they shouldn't think that if they're following the spoilers, because the structure I laid down is very much a structure, unlike Book of Boba Fett, which was just make it up as you go, and then. So yes, tomorrow, as a true 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Fandom Empire. It'll be a good time. Junkbuck says, I'm sick of people complaining about Disney putting their agenda into Star Wars when the only thing Disney cares about is money, just like Watto. But yeah, I mean that, in a weird way, not really a weird way, but it's true. What these people, what they do, what the grift also is, like I'm gonna say like a sub grift or a sub point they always make is Star Wars isn't making money, and here's why. But it's kind of the opposite. They will act like Star Wars doesn't make money when they don't know what they're talking about, or when it has. Like Baby Yoda's like a phenomenon. They're making fucking hand over fist on Baby Yoda.
They're making more now.
Yeah. And but they
bought a $300 spaceship.
Yeah. But
blew your headphones right off.
What they do is they make it sound like forced diversity is hurting why people aren't buying the stuff. In reality, those people just aren't buying something because there's not a white person on it. That's probably for them. But the truth is that by having a diverse cast of people, the product, such as a TV series, is then sold to more people who do look for self-identification in these things to some extent. So if you get the vibe that Star Wars is for white men, then it becomes automatically exclusionary, cuts down how many people you can have. And the one thing that they never understood or overlooked during the last phase of Star Wars, or starting with Force Awakens, is they were very vocal about how they wanted to get the Hunger Games crowd. They wanted the Hunger Games fans because Star Wars had maxed out. Lucasfilm maxed out Star Wars' potential, and they were feeling it a little bit. They needed growth. And that was one of the reasons that they did say, we do have to break out of some of these old molds of it being a white people only thing. You know what I mean? That is not a way that we're going, white men, that's not going to grow this anymore. And so, but what they actually did in the end wasn't, I don't think any of that stuff ended up bad. If it was bad, I'd be like, yeah, but here's why it's not bad. Is just to be fucking honest with you, it's not that hard to be Finn. It's not a fucking complicated role. It doesn't require the best actor you've ever seen. So you will hear the argument of, well, I just want the best actor for the part. The fact of the matter is you could have had somebody, you could have had the best actor of all time, and it's not going to change that much for like Finn. And so like it's Disney Star Wars acting, and so that's why it doesn't. That's why I just think it's kind of a very stupid thing. If we were talking about
hashtag not my Dodonna, you know,
yeah, no, if it was like a Stanley Kubrick movie, then you could easily make a bigger argument out of that, which I think is bullshit anyway. But you can make the argument that maybe it would have been better if the best actor was picked. But it's like the acting ability of Finn and Rey is so fucking low when you get down to it. You could literally overkill that by putting somebody too good in the role, where in the end it just doesn't work because a good actor has nothing to do with the part. So, anyways. Yeah, it's a whole dumb thing. I'm sorry if I'm bringing everybody down with that shit, but that's what we're actually like looking at, and it makes my blood boil when I see people pushing on those buttons, when I see people catering to that shit. It drives me fucking nuts. I think it's fucked up. It's ultimately stupid. And who goes and sees a show and goes, oh, they're not all white people, forced diversity, and gets really mad. Like that's a weird existence. It's weird. But sorry.
I generally just get mad when I hear people giving me talking points. I don't get an actual opinion.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get like someone's opinion or thoughts based on experience or just tastes. I'm getting like the script.
Yeah.
Like you ever see like on socials when someone posts this, it could be anything like send something for depression or a friend or something. It's this pre-script that they like to repost.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. I immediately just unfollow those people. Like, I don't care how long I've known you, you know, like I just don't want, I don't know where that stuff comes from. You don't know who's writing this stuff. You don't know what their agenda is for making you say it. Even if you agree to it, fine. You can't, it's like, you know, unfortunately in conversations, you can't have a bibliography, right? Citing all your fucking sources, right? But when they're just repeating, it's just plagiarist thoughts. I just can't stand that. And when those plagiarist thoughts are racist fucking talking points, but they try to mask them with somehow they didn't get the best person for the role. You know, like that's not their agenda is the best actor for the fucking role. Their agenda is something else. You're just buying into some lukewarm version of racism to make yourself feel better.
Like, I get a little bit bored with people that try to answer every single problem that the world has with colonization. There are people who just do that, like overdo it. But I do kind of think that in a weird way, when you show space and they're not all white people, it says something about white power losing its ability to colonize the world and therefore the imaginations of people. And once you do that, I think that it's like they feel this. I don't even know if they understand it, but I think they feel it.
Well, there's she's a neuroscientist, and she actually did the news for Art Bell, like on his second show, like when he was on Sirius. Amy Martin, she's great. She does a lot of Midnight.fm. She kind of helped found that, but for a while she was also linking up how like all these UFO stuff about, you know, there's this other race and they're UFOs and they're here to, they see us, that it's actually got a strong plant, and like even Atlantean Theories has a plant in white supremacy.
Yeah,
like there's a strong white supremacist component to a lot of these, like, so space is, you know, it was white people who did it, so there's something there to that, you know. And she's the only one I know who's ever taken that one on, you know. And I think there's room there for a whole book if you were, you know. You got to have that Linda Moulton Howe, like, gotta fucking just write about shit, you know. But she's super. Amy Martin's great, but that I think that plays right into it, you know.
But yeah, and if we give them the benefit of the doubt though, and we go, okay, it can be funny whenever you see like a community college pamphlet, and they're like, oh look, they got one of everybody for the cover just to like checkbox it, you know. But the thing about it is, and you could say that about like the Star Wars sequel trilogy, but so what? I mean, is the movie worse because John Boyega was Finn? Is it worse because Daisy? You know what I mean?
No, it's
honestly,
when they didn't go anywhere with the fucking stories or capitalize on like a
no. It was
stormtrooper
never.
who quit
It was never the actors.
Yeah.
It was never the actors. There was nothing wrong with the talent. So when you make that observation, my answer to it is so what? And so what? And there's not really a big answer to that. Harrison Ford said, "I love you." I know, and that would have happened, and it would have changed. No, it wouldn't have. That's bullshit. Alex Jones is in Sewer Shark is awesome. Also, Ben Shapiro's WAP remix, both great. What? Yeah, I remember that. Darth Del Rio, did they announce a Disney Gallery of the Book of Boba Fett? And Joel says May 4th, Darth Del Rio. Yeah, I'm kind of like, so what? The reactionaries are clowns, says Meg, and I agree. They are. Baymax says, congratulations on getting cited as Mike Zero's main source by Melvin. Yes.
Is that Malvin from War Games? He's showing them all at Twix.
Oh, I showed you he's in jail, right?
I showed you he's in jail.
Oh, you showed me he's in jail. Okay, I can't remember. Yeah, I said that to my drummer. Then I was like,
breaks my heart.
Yeah, I can't remember which way it flowed, but yeah, that's crazy. I'm honored, honestly.
Was he in Midnight Madness? I know Pee-wee Herman was in Midnight Madness, but was that guy in Midnight Madness? You know, remember Midnight Madness?
Yeah.
You don't remember that one?
Yeah, no. I don't know.
I believe Michael J. Fox and Crispin Glover in that one, but they're in another one. Same Disney bullshit, you know.
Greg R says, was the original Leaky reported that Reva can sense Obi-Wan on Tatooine, but no one else can, and Grand Inquisitor doesn't believe her, or has that been debunked or changed? No, that I believe is accurate. They get there, she feels presence, she knows it's bigger than Nari, and then Nari is dispatched, and Reva still feels it. Ooh.
Michael J. Fox is in Midnight Madness. I'm right.
Okay. But yeah, and once again, everyone, if you want to support the channel, become a channel member. And today I got it open to everyone because I love you guys. But usually I like to give the channel members a little bit of love. What's that?
Eddie Deazen's the actor from War Games that we're talking about. He was in Midnight Madness. I'm right.
Okay. You know your Midnight Madness. Also, I think a really dumb event where you can go buy Star Wars toys sometimes. Richie Kosel says, okay, it's pronounced Castle. Richie Castle, huh?
Okay. All right.
Ancestors came from Germany in the late 1800s, I believe, and changed the spelling for whatever reason. All right.
Like the drums.
Yeah. Hey, that Richie Castle, Cassell, huh? Is it once again? I think it's. Do you think it's? I don't know what it is. Joel says, "Is Rob Jim J. Bullock fan?"
I like the show without Jim J. Bullock, but I do recognize Jim J. Bullock is funny as shit. Too Close for Comfort. Because, he came on and it was a good mix, but then he just becomes like, Urkel becomes the show. Mm-hmm. So Ted Knight's yelling, Monroe! Like, it's just.
I love Monroe! I love Monroe! Yeah. It's the Monroe show!
I like him, but they turn it into Monroe show, and it's
I love the Monroe show. Yeah. Except for when he had Cosmic Cow out.
Cosmic Cow.
Baymax says Toro Calican was a role only a white could make pull up. Only a white. Yeah.
Wait till he finds out Sheev's original name.
Cost the shit. Will Morgan says, what's going on in here? Chaos, Will. Chaos, I say. But I'm loving this, Jason. Oh, it's you know what? It's McDonald's that I'm loving it, right? I keep seeing people talking about Burger King leaks. Oh, Burger King leaked everything. Burger King didn't leak it. Burger King read my fucking site and then stole my fucking.
Burger King uses shredded lettuce on their burgers. Fucking dumb are you? No one uses shredded lettuce.
I love shredded lettuce and crushed ice.
Falls right out of your fucking burger.
I love it.
On a burger.
All right. Baymax says it's a galaxy full of aliens and a black female triggers them to be really concerned or fake concerned depending on the graft. Yeah. I have to say, like, that's the lack of sincerity. It's the dog whistling and looking for a nerve to press. It's looking for something to freak out about. And then turning that into a wrestling event almost. But I just don't really think it's a good idea to do that.
They're like brother love. I love Star Wars. You know, like, no, you don't. Like,
well, no, it's like part of how like YouTube is done successfully is somewhat on that, but you also need to look at what side you're on and what you're doing, because like when you really get down to it, like nobody would hear it if the biggest YouTubers weren't covering it. If you bigger YouTubers weren't planting the anxiety in the fandom and then pushing on it. And I don't even like talking about it, but I feel like since I'm dispelling it, it's okay. And
also, folks, if you can do it, don't ever get anxiety over fiction.
Sure.
Don't. No matter how much you're looking forward to something, just don't. Like my best advice to anybody is just don't. You know, like it's fiction. It's just not real. Like there'll be other stuff later. You know,
work on your fucking skills. That's what you need in this life. That's what you need. Star Wars, Uncle Jason. Star Wars makes us. We need more diversity in Star Wars, especially LGBTQ plus characters. And that's the thing about this. Like another one of the subtexts is that's what they're. I feel like maybe, like I was saying earlier, the war is lost. If you don't want Mexicans in space, you got it. If you don't want black people in space, you got it. You don't want women in space, you got it. And I will say the one gay kiss we got
in Star Trek
in episode 9 was pretty weak sauce. It was pretty much like the most like kind of way that you ever could have fucking done that. So yeah, I'm with it. I don't think, like, one of the things I don't like about the depictions of gay people in fiction is that they make that their identity, though. I know this is funny, but they need to be people first, not gay first. Just like if it's a character, who they want to fuck isn't the character. It's like a preference. And I'm not preaching to Meg. I'm sure I don't know what Meg's opinions are. She's free to share them anytime she wants.
Don't explain Meg.
I'm not going to explain the main. But what I don't like is like we were talking about. What was the guy's name on Too Close for Comfort?
Jim J. Bullock.
What was the character's name now? What was it?
Monroe.
Again? Monroe. Monroe isn't a human. I love Monroe as a kid, but Monroe is a character. He's a character. Yeah, he is. And so it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, and that's where, like, it's weird because I'm also at the same time critical of how they use sexuality in Star Wars in general, though. Like, Rey is practically an incel. No, I'm joking. That's a little bit.
I thought the show that did it the best coming from that era would have been Quantum Leap, because he would do serious dramatic roles dressed up as a woman, you know, and they would cut too, but it wasn't played for laughs, you know, like
it was a little bit, but there was more empathy in
first,
right. It was more empathy making than the laughing. Right. I definitely agree.
Right. Yeah. So like, I don't know, man, like, it's just frustrating. I'm like, all the things in the world, like, we're still hung up on something it's been around since day one, you know?
Yeah.
It's been around day one, man.
Well,
sexuality is older than guns. Like, and think about what's more important. You know, I gotta have my fucking AR-15 to kill Kennedy.
Yeah, I never liked. Well, see that like I was never on board for like two things here. If Finn or Poe had been gay, I would have liked how they did it because they were people first and they had a preference. That's how it would have went. I was never on board with the Finn and Poe thing, though, because when he meets Rey, the very first thing he asked her is if she has a boyfriend. And
actually, I didn't like that line, not because I'm just like, you're stuck on a whole planet. You're just running away from the worst nightmare you can think of. You know a giant war is coming. You want to get as far away from everything as humanly possible. And you're talking to, who came up with this? Like, who wrote this line? Like, I'm just curious. Oh, like, I want to know.
You know what, man? That's On topic is the gayest thing you've ever said because
Who cares?
yeah,
Sorry,
if I ran into Daisy Ridley and we were friends, I'd ask her if she had a boyfriend. Wouldn't you?
No.
No,
I
not
grew up
Daisy
with
Ridley.
Helen Reddy songs, man. I just, it was funny. My mom was super fucking feminist, and then she abandons me, comes back super conservative. Like, I understand Obi-Wan's like, what happened to my friend? Like, I kept going down the path of humanity. So, I don't understand it. I get maybe later, like if they were at the Maz Kanata's castle having drinks, right? And then like shooting the shit, they get more personal. But it's just like he's trying to find a way off that planet. His new friend, I always, when he meets Poe, it always reminded me when you met a friend at like a McDonald's theme park, or or like at Disneyland on Tom Sawyer's Island. You'd meet that friend and then you team up for a little bit, and then their parents they take them away halfway through the game, like, and you got to continue on the game without them. But like that, it's just that all that stuff is just the weakest part of that movie for me. Like the I just felt like JJ and whoever wrote it just didn't get the military soldier not following an unlawful order, you know what I mean, and where that would go. And it's all like, actually, I was the janitor. It's like you're taking away all the agency this guy had from the smear on the helmet.
I mean, no, JJ can't fucking keep his shit straight in any of those movies. Like when you get down to it, he loses track of his stuff all the time. I have a feeling it has to that I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he's working with a collaborator every time. Maybe he shouldn't collaborate. Maybe he should let somebody else write it or write it all himself, because I think that's where these inconsistencies come out. Yeah.
Although I don't think Rian did a very good job with the military shit either. So, but it's
none of these people are
little bone to pick.
Yeah. Richie says, seeing that they said Andor is a spy thriller, mass media, a Bond style villain, I expect you to die, Mr. Andor. Yeah, that would be cool.
Does he have a golden gun? If he has a golden DL-44, I will fucking I will take a shot. A Patrouche.
I was
full shot.
I was the one who broke what's his name from the Leftovers was in the Last Jedi. And then he was like with the Plum Bloom thing and stuff. And I saw like all the photography they like did of that guy and stuff. Some of it was so badass because it was so like James Bond. Like redid like the James Bond posters and shit with them. And so I've always thought he was like a fun thing that maybe they could go to. And I was always wondered, like, he's a bit too young probably, but who knows? I was like, maybe he could, some in some way he could be an Andor or something eventually, even though it's like years later. But I unlocked him in Lego Star Wars, and he doesn't do anything. He punches.
Aww.
He just punches. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. Give him like a fancy little golden gun or something, That's what I would have done. But and check out Meg's video yesterday where she broke that. If anybody didn't, that Masamita is back. Will says War Games is mentioned every other day around here. Laugh out loud.
And it will be from now on. You keep complaining.
Yeah. The only way to win is not to fight. Neil says the racial shit going on in the Nerd Theory chat on Monday night regarding the manufactured Raven issue was pathetic.
Seriously?
It was. I always appreciate when they give me credit for my stories, if you will. But I don't know if I think that could have been done better.
Moses Ingram still has the coolest fucking name I've ever heard.
Like,
I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like, I got Robert. And my original biological last name was Gulius.
I want to write her biography. I'm gonna call it Holy Moses. Yeah.
My mom was so ashamed of her last name. She found out there's a Hungarian soup called goulash, and she's like, "No, see, it's Hungarian for goulash." I'm like, "We're Polish. We're not Hungarian." It's Gulias.
Well, what was it? Was it butt lettuce? Is your maiden name Rob Butt Lettuce?
It can be,
Rob's shredded butt lettuce. You're gonna love it.
I hate Burger King lettuce, man. Don't.
I actually, I'm not really crazy about Burger King. Not a big Burger King.
Oh no, it's worse than Jack in a Box.
It's up there. Luke Miller says, "Hey, do you think Lucas was ever involved on the set for Kenobi or Andor?" I do not. He was not involved as a creative. I don't believe he was on the set of Andor. I don't think Lucas traveled to Europe at that time either. But I don't know for certain about that. But I don't think. I would have to think that especially for Kenobi, Lucas would want to watch Hayden and Ewan again on set. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was down there, but no one ever told me if he was. I never really asked. Crushed ice, yes. Shredded lettuce is for monsters, says Tyrant. All right, we're really dividing the community here today. Richie says, correction, it's more like Kazel. The S is sound like a Z in the pronunciation. So we're going now. Is it Kazel?
A whole journey today.
Is it Kazel or Kazel? Who's on first?
Like Kazoo.
The original spelling was Castle, though. All right. I'm just going to say how
these Germans will talk your head off about anything, man. Like I lived there for 3 years.
You love David Hasselhoff. That's what we know is Germans love David Hasselhoff.
This best part of Better Call Saul is when they get this German construction dude to come on, and he's just nerding them out with all of his technical knowledge and shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right. They're a little dry. They're good dudes.
I don't know how I got there, but one time I had to explain to my daughter exactly what Baywatch Nights was a lot harder than you'd think. Needed a lot of contextualization.
See, Baywatch Nights would have worked if they had added werewolves and vampires and shit.
I believe the correct answer was Baywatch Nights was never going to work no matter what.
Could have worked. Could have added if you just added werewolves at the beach.
I think it needed Monroe personally.
Monroe.
Tyrant says Rob. Channel member Tyrant says, Rob, you were talking about Seinfeld having a terrible finale yesterday. Quantum Leap is a show with a terrible ass ending.
Nope. That ending. The ending of Quantum Leap was what it's like when your mom abandons you on Christmas. So
what about
I appreciate it.
What about Alf?
Alf is the
dinosaurs.
Alf Dinosaurs is the best in that it earned that ending. Because it was the only way the show could end, that they will all die because they're dinosaurs. They have to die.
This is the story.
They didn't chicken out and go, we'll never cover the extinction. It ended with the extinction event. Like that is some brass balls.
I mean, we could have went alternate dimension, parallel universe. They grow up to be the lizard people that today we fear and are controlling our government. Think about it. Rob said, Will says, channel member Will Morgan. Or is it Morgan? Today I'm just going to get everybody.
It's pronounced with a Z. It's Morzan.
I will Morgan Ray. Star Wars has got more incest than anything else. Complaining about the show of affection when it hasn't really had a convincing depiction of relationships to begin with is dumb. Hey. Can I say
hard to argue?
Carrie Fisher's fine as hell. And I gotta say, okay, that could have been Finn looking for a boyfriend, and then Meg follows it up with, yeah, but he said cute boyfriend, so maybe he wanted him for himself. I think that would make Finn not a hero, but a man stealer, and therefore a piece of shit.
It's still not appropriate for this situation and everything that's going down.
But that was why I didn't buy it, because when he says cute boyfriend, he's not asking for himself. I mean, I'm
all for either of those scenarios. Just the castle would have been a place to do it.
Rob, when I don't remember how I found out you were married, but I never said, Rob, you got a cute wife? Got a wife? Cute wife?
It's a fucking weird line.
It's weird.
Either way you cut it, man.
But it's obvious when you watch it that he's saying, do you have a cute boyfriend? Because if not, I might have a chance because I think I'm pretty cute. That's what it says. I think.
I don't know who wrote that line. It's not good.
Are you telling me that guys like J.J. Abrams aren't swimming in the tail?
It's got the penis nose from Nothing But Trouble. I'm gonna put it out there. I fear I'm gonna get it too sometimes. I get that bump. I'm like, I hope I don't get that.
Yeah.
Can I get some silly putty and just
I thought I had a kind of a nice nose when I took so many punches to it.
Those white dudes, we get this. I fear it.
I have I'm like one punch away from becoming what's his name. Anyways, Star Wars Meg says, yeah, the cute boyfriend thing, and then Baymax says 100% they've done Afro well. where her sexuality doesn't define her. Other characters in the Afro comics, it seems their only point is showing off their sexuality and nothing else, which is super shallow. Yeah, it's like there definitely is a way where you are capitalizing and if not even just straight up exploiting sexuality and trends. Like Baymax might know people in the music industry. I don't know, maybe he does, but I know I have a friend who took off as a songwriter. Really took off as a songwriter in the last couple of years, and told me about these moments when they would get called into a room to talk about, basically to manufacture a singer's bisexuality. The person's not bisexual, but they're gonna do it. They're gonna push it for the demos and for the acceptance. And so and so has always been like they completely, that evil side I know exists in the music industry. I know it does for a fact. Where it's not
that's the term
natural.
Selling out. It's not having sold things.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
when you will capitulate to any fucking trend and manipulate it for your greater benefit when it has absolutely nothing to fucking do with you. You know?
Yeah. And I ultimately think that that kind of stuff actually ends up being bad, because it says that being gay or bisexual isn't legit, or being bisexual is not legit. It's a phase, because they're selling a phase. And I'm gonna see so and so scissor, and then but it's cool because they ultimately want my D because they're not really gay. Like that's what they are ultimately selling. So have you heard of that band Wet Leg? No, they have like a record. It's kind of good. I think I like it. And they have a song though, and it says, "Mom, I went to college to get the D." It's pretty funny. The degree, but not the same D. Different D. Different D, Rob. Rob, it's a different D.
I did. I did the math.
Yeah. But yeah, so far I haven't read all of the Afro stuff, but like the Afro shit, you're just like, hey, that's our Afro, you know, and that's I think a nicer way of doing it, a more sincere way, especially if you're not a gay person yourself and you're writing the character, and but by puppeting them in a way. Star Wars makes us exactly. It needs to be more meaningful and add to the character, not only the thing they're about. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I agree with you, cats. KG, how's it going, KG? That's what I've been saying, Meg. KG knows. And I had to bow out of Theories chat. It was brutal. Yeah, that whole thing is just like a huge bummer. I think there's like a difference between reporting the news and making the news. And if you make the news and it's bad, fake news, kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? And if it was sincere and you really felt that, you could have just DM'd me. The DMs are always open. I clarify. And if anybody ever needs any clarification on my stories, especially a creator, they can DM me and I'll clarify. Meg has covered my stories bajillions of times now. And every now and then she's just like, stupid motherfucker, what are you getting at here? And then we'll clarify it. And then Meg goes and reports the news fantastically. It's how you do it. And but it's pretty awful when they do that. I left years ago at KG. Oh, she bowed out of that chat. Yeah, I don't really I don't have a problem with their show, or like generally like what they do or whatever. But this is a time when I think maybe that could have been done better. You know, I don't hate those guys or whatever, but I am understandably critical of that. Will says, see, this is why Rob needs to actually read Ready Player One, considering War Games and Holy Grail are the movies they go into instead of The Shining. More points if you know all the lines.
Yeah, I read the first chapter and I'm like, this is stupid.
It's not for you. Yeah, that's fine. Not everything's for everyone. Yeah,
it's not for me.
Yeah,
it's not for me.
It's how I feel about Kanye. I don't get how Kanye keeps winning, keeps doing well. I never got it. Baymax says Baymax Knights, on the other hand, ratings gold. KG just got Elf. Elf. I got to the part, or I just got to KG.
Kill me. Ha ha ha.
Baymax says the Star Wars fandom is primarily made up of man babies, and I'm one of them. We still dream of and play with Star Wars men from our childhood to collect all the new lines, chasing the nostalgia fills. Yeah, it's true. It is true. I had to stop collecting things. And I'm not critical of people who collect. I just started to realize that for me, collecting was a financial high of chasing something, getting it, enjoying it, then putting it away. And so I started to realize it was a few fleeting moments of like joy for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to collect Star Wars memories. I think that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would rather.
I would largely agree with you.
That, you know, and that's where I went with it.
I only started getting some stuff a couple years ago because I had a space, you know, and my wife would come in there. What are you gonna do with this? You got the space. You got to decorate. You can do something. I'm like, I gotta do this, you know. So I rebuilt the thing. That was like, why do I? You had to get through my man cave area to get to my studio.
Yeah.
So I was like, why do I work all fucking day and night? What inspired me? I wanted to go through and be reminded of why I love doing this. And so it works every fucking time when I'm depressed, when I'm tired. I come in there, I look, oh, look, a turtle's cat. Oh, look at that over there. And I come in, I'm like, I can work. It really works. It's a psychological trick I did to myself. It wasn't cheap. I can't imagine folks who do this all the time, and I would beg them to stop. You know, you don't need we don't need, as fans, 15 versions of Thor Funko Pops. You can make one every movie, you know? But they just keep coming out with the same shit all the time. It's just stop buying it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Save your money.
Junkbox says, Rob, if you think about Finn was a child soldier, his life has been laid out in the first woman he sees. He's
never been laid.
No, I have to say, I see where you're going with that, but there are women stormtroopers. Samantha Aileen is the first female stormtrooper, friend of mine. She's really cool person, actually. And gotta say, he has probably he's probably boned before because of that, you know, unless they all got neutered or fixed or something. Rob nailed that. Bought the wet leg vinyl today. Nice, me too. Me too.
It seems every show now you're bringing up wet leg vinyl, and I just it's getting played out.
It turns out it's a Liam Neeson tribute band. I love it. It's from Excalibur.
I thought I had it with Leakin Park, but
Leakin
wet
Park
leg is actually
yeah. After the show, this guy drops. After we are not on, he drops Leakin Park.
Yeah, but wet leg is
yeah.
They gotta get a photo with him. Like if you're in the band Wet Leg and you take a photo with Liam Neeson, can you run that photo on your cover? Can you do a bootleg album and try to like outlaw it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that stuff is a bit murky. I don't think you could like sell something with somebody's photo in it with that, and you know. But if it was in a public space, I guess you could.
What if he put the photo on Getty Images and then bought it?
Yeah.
And put the onus on Getty Images. Because Getty Images has all these weird photos. You don't know who took them.
No.
You know, why do they get to walk into FAO Schwartz in 1999 and photograph some idiot acting like a man-child, grabbing all his Phantom Menace toys, you know? Woo! And then you can sell that 30 years later on fucking Getty Images. What's the difference? I don't understand.
Did I ever tell you about when they tried to shake me down on images on Making Star Wars?
No.
I had this like legal firm or lawyer come at me, and it was a picture of John Boyega at the episode 7 premiere, and they said that I owed them like $6,000. And I was given the picture by ABC from the Ellen show, I want to say. Might have been the Ellen show. Or whatever, whoever it was, whoever had the Ellen show, and they were like covering Star Wars on it when it was coming out, and so they had basically sent me this picture to use in their article to promote their show, and then they sold the picture to somebody else bought the picture, and then now was trying to say that I owed them $6,000. I at the end of it, I just kept responding, suck one email, mine another email, and dick in another email. And whenever they would respond, I would send 3 emails of suck, my, and dick. So nothing ever happened. So, but yeah, but advice to anybody who's doing any kind of fan site in the future or using images from stuff, pull a picture of the actor like on screen from like something that if they did, because nobody's gonna buy that and then randomly come after you. But if it's like a red carpet photo, be careful. And I also have a friend in the film site industry who got sued for 6 figures and did actually have to pay it. So just a heads up when you have these people that go and do that. It's a bigger site though. Junkbox says, have you ever seen the show The Other Two? There's an episode where an actor pretends to be gay and hits on the main character who is gay for a better image and better roles. Those kinds of stories in Hollywood have actually been around for like years, where you had people who weren't necessarily gay who would, you know, get down, but also at the same time that may have been false too, for all I know. But Will says gay characters are way overrepresented compared to actual stats. I'm not crying conspiracy, but it's true. It's like The Walking Dead. Half the people left on the planet are homosexual. Yeah. Well, what you have right now is a bunch of people, I think, who like, you know, it's easy to be an activist. You know, it's easy to stand. I stand by so-and-so when you're sitting down. And so you have I think you have a bunch of people who do support gay rights and who do want equality and that kind of shit. But they're selling that to them. They're not selling it to gay people. They're making those people feel good about themselves. They're making those people not feel like bigots. And you know it when you know it when you see it. I'll just kind of like leave it at that, because I don't, you know, somebody, if it works for somebody, but I feel like you know it when you see it. You know when it's like a straight up a pander to make a housewife in Orange County feel like she's you know, a real activist. Richie says, get me on one of those shows and I'll set the record straight on my last name. Hey, you ever want to come on, Richie? Just say it. I'll send you the invite. We will solve this. Luke says, I could see
Spock. Fascinating.
Luke says, I could see a trailer or a special look on May 4th for Kenobi. Yeah, that would be cool. I would not mind if that happened, you know.
Instead, you're getting Book of Boba Fett, the gallery edition. Can't wait.
Right? Oh yeah, there was I don't know. Bespin Bulletin has an article about new evidence further suggests a Star Wars heavy season of Fortnite. So there's stormtroopers now. They fly now. There's stormtroopers. And I already have that in, but they appear to be NPCs. So you would be able to fight stormtroopers in the new season, is what it appears to be telling us. But check out Bespin Bulletin for that whole freaking story. And here we go really quickly. I made a video a while ago. This is the Making Star Wars, a little bit of some new paint on it right here. Star Wars Ragtag, everything you wanted to know. And I already made a video of this. So if you've seen the video of it, you've seen it all. And I don't really think we could do a video where we go over the article and we discuss it with you guys. But I've already done the whole article as a video. And but what I did was I made it an article so that way if people
like
want to
spend splat.
Yeah, it's spotted on all of it. Look, it's right there. Here is the video. Here's the video if you want me to read it to you, basically. But yeah, but basically I go through, I lay out everything that was Amy Hennig's Star Wars Ragtag. And there's a rumor going around that it's being revived, that the game is coming back. I don't know if it's the same game for sure. I don't have anything on that yet. But I have.
He looks a little bit like that actor who plays Trevor in GTA 5. He's also on Better Call Saul in 2 episodes. Like,
yeah, his name is Todd Stashwick. And he was that's the actor who played Dodger. But I go down to like the game mechanics, like all the concept art here. And I tried to make it as presentable as I could, so that way you could see like what all the weapons were, like how they would have worked, what some of the game mechanics were, being pulled by a bantha, and all of that stuff. And we've gone over this stuff on the channel before to some extent, but also got like storyboards. Natalie Morales was the person who they kept changing the character of Roby to look like they were like slap it on the generic concept art. And so I think that's
Photoshop face painted.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever. And that someone got the model, and then it's like there's like there's a wall of 32 other faces on there.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is what they were keeping. Like Natalie Morales was the one who they were. I think that's who they either cast or she was like the finalist.
Well, one of the original ones was Kiefer Sutherland, though. So Jason. Like,
this was
Lunik. Kiefer in every project.
Lunik was supposed to be one of the main cast members in Rogue One, and Rogue One's working title for the production company, the secret production, was Lunik Heavy Industries, and Lunik always seems to get and cancel things. Never makes it to the screen. But all the art's there, so you can get a better look at it. Because some people were saying, on my phone or in the video, I can't really see it. Oh yeah, this character they ended up changing to Jillian Jacobs from Community, and her name was Una. She was like a rich girl who played Rich Girl Sports, and they were talking about using like Fathiers and having her like use like Fathiers, sort of like a weird croquet kind of sport and all the stuff. Look, there's a De Niro as a ring for crew member, but that's just obviously them just showing what he could look like. Robert De Niro was never in it, but I had a ton on this game. I got the storyboards for the opening, so if you guys want to see it all, highly recommend you watch my documentary that I did on this channel, or read the article, and you get a really good feel for the story. Though I do love the concept art. It was sort of tedious, like getting all of the concept art set and watermarked for this article, but I had a good time looking at it.
So I was like, that splats on everything, man. Oh, you were like, does your forearm just oh, it's so tight.
My pinky hurt. I had a sore pinky at the end. Yeah, a little stinky little pinky. And oh yeah, this character was rad. There's like this Hutt who's has a cult, and they crash on this planet, and they're about to be sacrificed to this Hutt in the game, to this giant cult like member. And yeah, the story is super fun. I'm gonna say that I'm going to guess that if they are revitalizing Ragtag, if that part's true, the rumor going around in the gaming industry is that that's what's happening, but they kept saying it's in the Rebel Alliance era. This game is literally about they can't get to the Rebel Alliance. They have this information. They're up against the clock. There is no Rebel Alliance, and they don't exist yet. Or they do exist, but they're fragmented. They're not big. They're not ready to react. And so these ragtag group of smugglers have to go up and basically handle it themselves. And so I'm not sure, but the game takes place after A New Hope, before Empire. So it is technically the same time. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, there's that purple violaceous gas that they mine from the graveyard of Alderaan. The Star Destroyer is where Alderaan used to be. The only thing I don't really like about the story at all is that Todd Stashwick's character, Dodger Boone, he's immune to the weapon because he's from Alderaan. Don't really like that, but I think it was more about a gameplay mechanic, making a gameplay mechanic in the story work, probably. And then there was some space combat. This right here, you can see he's talking with the freighter. And but yeah, so if you ever wanted to see all of the pictures in a much higher quality and stuff, I did my best to put them up in the highest quality that I could and give you the best look at the the game that we can. So it might be completely relevant to what's happening in the future, and it may not. So
certainly more interesting than whatever the eclipse is.
yeah, right.
Controversy aside, just no interest in this weird hybrid of a. I don't know, man. If their storytelling was good, I'd be excited. It's just based on their other games. They let me down with Heavy Rain. It hasn't much been better since. So. Whatever.
Tyrant says, "Get your field job activist chits while watching TV. Don't worry, we're out here fighting cops, declaring martial law with the Breonna, George Floyd and protest. Yeah, that was what a time." Yeah. MB says, "If Nari was headlined on the trailer, and EW and leaks of his backstory or flashbacks were leaked, many would complain. The YouTube peeps, you all are talking about. Just saying." Well, here's the thing, dude. Is I put Nari out, and I put probably just as much about Nari's story as I did about Reva's, and nobody complained once about Nari showing up. Nobody complained once about Nari, about this being the Inari show. But at the end of the day, even that aside, are there some people who were like legitimately? I'm not trying to say that anybody who heard this and was freaked out is racist. I'm definitely not saying that. But it is dog whistling. It is, and it's meant to make people have anxiety. And if you saw the fucking trailer and you walked in from that trailer saying this is the Reva show. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like that's also a what the fuck.
Just saying.
Just asking questions. Just asking.
Yeah.
Junkbox says, by the way, I really love the MSW logo. Totally a throwback to 90s Nickelodeon. What are you talking about? 90s Nickelodeon stole that from us. Right?
Barf.
Barf.
It's really 80s Nickelodeon, 90s Nickelodeons. So Ren and Stimpy all the way to was The World's Strongest Man? That was Nickelodeon, right?
That was Artie, The World's Strongest Man, from Adventures of Pete and Pete.
Was that was Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah, it was Nickelodeon.
Yeah. Then that was about the last thing I watched on 90s Nickelodeon. So again,
Richie, whenever you're free next time, send me a DM on wherever we follow each other, or we should. That way, I can't put the link in the chat here, or it would completely just become a clusterfuck. Tyrant says, "Oh, Jason, if you watch that theory chat on Monday, you don't have to say anything. It speaks for itself." Right. And I just want to, I just want to clarify that, and just to say that, number one, it's not even true, and it's pretty scumbaggy, isn't it? Nike is Kenobi use a red saber? I don't think so, Nike. I explored that. I even went as far as to put it into an article to try to fish out the exact truth to that. Wasn't able to. So but what I did fish out, it was that Kenobi definitely has his lightsaber for both duels. He has a lightsaber and a gun. So yeah, it's a thing. Maybe General Grievous is Darth Vader. You think maybe he does like a General Grievous? Pulls out the gun, shoots him again. Right in the fucking heart. Yeah.
Looks like those people with those fake jump ropes that have the balls on the end.
Yeah.
They don't want to really jump rope. Whatever.
But yeah. Well, I think we did it, you guys. I think we had a Star Wars show. We said a bunch of stuff that'll get us in trouble. A bunch of stuff that all that kind of stuff. Okay, wait, Richie, did you send me an invite right now? Okay, he didn't send it. If you send it right now, I would have sent it to you and just done it now. But tomorrow, whenever. But anyways, I will be back on tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Rob, I believe you said you could make it, and we're gonna have Fandom Empire on, and it'll be a good time. So tomorrow afternoon. Don't look for us unless something happens. Then I'll get on and cover it. If something huge breaking happens or whatever, I'll cover it. Steve says, I wonder if we see Anakin saber hilt put in the box that we'll get to Luke later. I am pretty sure we do see. I'm pretty sure we see Luke's lightsaber in the series. Can't confirm it 100%.
Wanted you to have this big bald-headed man.
Well, what you're going to learn is that Obi-Wan's had to hide that up his ass all these years.
I had this lightsaber up my ass for 20 years.
You're not going to leave that in a cave. You can't. You don't know who's in that cave when you're gone. But
I could still feel the kyber crystals.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was laughing because there's that droid Tika that like steals his shit all the time, and a droid Jawa named Tika, and I was wondering if maybe she steals the lightsaber and turns it on, activates, dies, then he feels bad. Doesn't happen. But yeah, Pulp Fiction style. But anyways, we will be back on tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with the old fandom empire, we're going to have some old KOTOR scoops. And fandom empire is going to tell us some stuff that you guys are going to want to hear. I know the bullet points of it. I don't know the info of it. I was like, I'm going to let him tell me live on the show. But I know the bullet points are cool. And he made us a featured image for it already. And the featured image looks cool. So
I don't have to do the work.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be good. But so everyone tomorrow, if you care about the Old Republic, tomorrow could be good. Could be a good show for you. Unless you're one of those people who just wants to hear what they want to hear, in which case it will be bad as always. But I don't know.
Read the site. It's better.
Go read the site. It's better. But watch the show if you like space.
I like spaceships.
Okay. And we'll see everybody tomorrow. And say goodnight, Rob.
Good night, Rob.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. I am not the creator of Mara Jade, and I want you to get out of this office right now. I don't want you here.